Hey guys, so today on the channel we'll be taking a look at the Kickstarter spawn. I got the tracking information the other day and was a little bit worried because the destination was wrong, although I rang up, got it sorted and it turned up on time. Super stoked for this figure. Like I know everyone's been waiting for it. It's finally here and it's awesome. So looking at him up close, you can see he's pretty much everything people have been wanting from a Spawn comic book style Spawn since the Kickstarter was announced. The sculpt is awesome. He's like, that head looks wicked. Like it looks just like the comic. All the like sculpting details so cool. The shading on all the like the muscles and stuff. Like he looks jacked. He looks like he's just from the comics, and just you couldn't ask for a better figure, to be honest. There are a few little things that didn't annoy me as much as I thought they might. Like you can see his neck and his head are two separate pieces, which is a really good idea. But the neck is kind of pre-posed in a. It's got like it's twisted, so it looks a little bit funny on certain poses. You can see up close there. See the trap attached to the neck is kind of higher up, and he's got his head in a twisted position, which isn't terrible, but it's, yeah. And then you've got the Simmons Head, which I love. I think it looks really good. That's from the modern Spawn, and just the paint detail on that alone is really good. Like he's got a lot of shading. The eyes stand out. They look like they're glowing. He just looks like if you punched him in the face, you'd break your hand. Like it just looks really cool. Looks like Ving Rhames. Just really cool. And you can see the pre-posed neck looks a bit unusual, but again, when he's on your shelf, it adds a little bit of a dynamic look to it. Then you've got the Screaming Head, which honestly not really a big fan of. It's cool they threw it in there though. It looks like the sculpt's awesome. It's the green inside his mouth is a little bit duller than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit brighter, and it's a little bit of a pain to get into the neck there. But it's, I mean, you know, if you want a Screaming Spawn unmasked head, like perfect. Again though, this one in particular looks a bit funny when you try to turn the head to the side because of the pre-posed nature of it. It sort of has to be in that position or it just looks odd. But again, awesome sculpt, like, and all the detail, like you can see the bone coming through the skin, and he just looks tortured. It looks really cool. Yeah, really wicked. I love all the textures on the cape as well. You can see in the background there, it's got like there's a texture all over it, and like the paint, the airbrushing of the dark reedy black on there just looks so cool. Oh yeah, another thing that's kind of weird is the forearm and the bicep. There's the single jointed elbow, but that's also got a swivel, so it can move independent from the bicep swivel, which I found kind of weird, a little bit like it works well. You don't even need the bicep swivel, but they've got it on anyway. Very unusual choice, but yeah. So here we've got the modern Spawn. Glad I got both of them with the shoelace face, which again looks awesome. So much better than the yelling head. The pre-posed nature of this one does bother me a bit. It looks so cool that I can look past it, but I wish it was a head and neck assembly, not a one-piece assembly, because when you turn it any other angle, you can see it sticks up. It looks a bit odd, but the figure is so cool. You can forgive it. So yeah, we can see the detail there. It's just disgusting and awesome. So you've got, like, you can see the muscle underneath. You can see the bone. His eyes look like they're glowing. Just the paint apps are just perfect on it. And of course, all the heads are interchangeable between the different versions of Spawn. So you can see this is the modern head on the classic body, which looks really cool. I mean, it's just cool. It like adds variation, like keeps things fresh. And I mean, it's the same sculpt, both bodies are the same sculpt, but just the different paint jobs just give it a kind of a completely different feel, which I really like. Actually, I lie. Sorry, it's not the same sculpt. This one's got the moon boot and the gauntlet, so slightly different. But yeah, I love that spawn mask on this modern head. Sorry, I love this spawn mask head on the modern body. I think that looks really cool. You can see the moon boot there. It's really cool. And I noticed that the chains on the modern one are silvery versus the ones on the classic, which are more coppery. See, he's got the big ass gun and that huge sword. The sword's really cool. They're like, I guess it's the knob piece at the what do you call it? Like the bit underneath the grip comes off and it slides into the hand, and then you pop it back on. Gee, and the cape is a monster. Unfortunately, it doesn't come off, but it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would because it looks so impressive. So angular, asymmetrical. It's got like a bit of a clamshell thing where it kind of folds up, and it's so reminiscent of the classic 1996 Spawn figure which I had as a kid. It's awesome. Like, this is what when you had that figure as a kid, this is what you thought it was like, almost like in your head. You're like, yeah, it was this cool. But yeah, his arms go out a good amount. Not as hindered as I thought they might be by the cape. Like, they're definitely hindered, but the way you're going to pose this guy, it's not a big deal for me. He's got really good articulation in the wrists, and the ankles have got a ball joint on them that's blends in better as an ankle than other Mcfarlane figures, which can kind of look a bit odd. I also like that his hands are slightly bigger than would normally be on a human, so it kind of it just looks more comic booky. I know a lot of the Mcfarlane figures have hands that are too small, so I'd prefer they be too big than too small. That's what she said. So we've got a whole bunch of different hands. So you've got the your standard holding, I think they're for the swords and the Necro Blades. You've got the creepy hands, and it's cool that he's got different hands. Like, they just look so cool and just add a lot of different personality to the figure. He comes with these knives, which I thought would be cool, but actually look kind of dumb. And I thought they were the same sculpt as the ones on the Mcfarlane Batman, but they're not, as you could just see there. Yeah, these Necro Blades look really cool. Each figure comes with one, so you can give them double ones if you wanted to. They're not massively tight in there. They do kind of, flop around a bit, but again, if you're going to pose them on the shelf, it's not a big deal. Yeah, that head I had trouble moving that around in the joint. Like, it just was a little bit, a bit awkward. So he comes with two different guns. So he's got this gun here, which looks really cool. It's got a bit of everything attached to it. And the other gun, which is gold. I don't know. I think I showed you it before. But he looks really cool when he's holding both guns. Okay, and you can also see in the background we've got the boxes. He comes in these big ass boxes. You've probably seen other videos of people unboxing them. Massive, really cool packaging. And here he is next to the Mcfarlane Batman. So these two stylistically work really well together. Obviously because Mcfarlane designed both of them, but I don't know, they make a good pair. I love this Batman, by the way. I think this is probably the best Batman figure ever released. But yeah, so he also comes with a comic book, like a limited edition black and white version of the comic book that the original figure came with, which is a nice touch. And I noticed that both versions, the classic and the modern, have different covers, which is unnecessary but cool. So here he is next to the naked Spawn, the bloody naked Spawn. I can't remember what his the Blood Hunter or whatever it was called. They look really cool together. Again, even these other Spawn figures still look cool. Like, this figure's awesome, but like these other Spawn figures still look just as good in my opinion. Yeah. Although I noticed that the one on the left is actually slightly taller, which is interesting. I think the legs are longer, because I noticed that this Spawn has slightly shorter legs, or maybe more realistic proportions. Anyway, really cool that the weapons can be interchanged with both Spawns, the retail version and the Kickstarter version. So again, pretty cool. Like, you're not going to use all the weapons on the Kickstarter Spawn, so it's cool to use them on the other ones. Just especially that Necro Blade, that looks really cool with this naked Spawn. And again, this one, the naked Spawn, has more articulation. He's better to hold on to. He can do more stuff, but so they both sort of complement each other in a way. And this Spawn looks so cool with that axe and his giant sword. Yeah, really, really cool. Just super stoked with this figure. Both these figures. The only issue is they kind of take up a lot of space, and if you've been collecting for any time, you'll sort of... Space is always an issue, trying to find space to stick things, especially with this massive cape. So I am considering trying to take the cape off and magnetizing it. I've got like tiny little magnets that could go in the cape. If anyone's tried doing that, comment below and tell me, did it work? Because I'm kind of cautious about pulling apart such an expensive and rare, it's a reasonably rare figure because you can't get it in retail. So yeah, and also I don't want to like snap the cape. But yeah, those little knives, they just look like they look like candy. Like, I want to eat them, but they also just look so just sort of shit. I feel like they should have had like energy effects coming. That's probably the only thing negative about this thing, was those knives. They're just like, they might as well not have even put them in, to be honest. Gee, I think I love the shoelace head. I think it looks really good, but I think the Al Simmons head could be better. Like, it just looks so good, and especially on the classic body, looks really good. Also, I noticed a lot of people were throwing their toys out of the cot because of the pre-posed abdomen. He's got like a statue of David bend in his torso, and honestly, it looks really good. Like, I'm glad there's no cut in it. Like, it just gives the figure a, I don't know, like a interesting look to it that it wouldn't have had otherwise. But yeah, he's also decently heavy, but he does stand up on his own because of the cape. Again, would have been nice if the cape did come off, but maybe they kept it glued on because of the weight of it, and it might not actually stay on. That's why I'm hesitant to try magnets, but yeah. Yeah. So closing thoughts. This figure is the best. Well, all Spawn figures are awesome, but it was definitely worth the wait. Glad I got 2 of them. I feel bad if you missed out, if you were on the fence and then didn't get it, because I think the eBay prices are going to be crazy for these figures. And yeah. So don't forget to check out my other videos. Comment below as well. Tell me what you think. Did you get the Spawn figure? Are you waiting for it? Yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and please subscribe. Cheers.